We'll go ahead and call our regular session for the Newburg R2 School District for March 17th to order. And we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. We do roll call. We do have a quorum with Mrs. Melfeld absent and Mr. Mason absent. We need a motion to approve the agenda as it is.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Guthrie, second Mr. Birdsong. Any further discussion? Get that, Amy?
I'm sorry, I did not.
Motion by Mr. Guthrie to approve the agenda, second by Mr. Birdsong. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. We have a section in our minutes for public comment, but I understand that no comment had been asked for before the deadline for that. However, I understand that there may be a letter with documentation or some that you might have,
I do.
Monica, that you would like to present, which we will gladly let you do so. But you just have to present the letter and the information. Okay?
So I would like to read the letter.
Can't read the letter. Sorry.
With this many here, you can't let her.
No. It goes against our policy for that part.
The policy, I thought, said that you needed to request ahead of time, but the board could also allow, if they chose, it was okay at the time of.
But also, if you read the policy, it states that the only thing you can comment on is what's on the agenda.
Public comments are on the agenda.
It's for the agenda. It's what's on the agenda is what you put public comments would be for. Any item on the agenda for that evening could be talked about if the board wanted to, but only the items on the agenda. I understand your concern and don't think we don't.
Well, it's not just my concern is the thing.
I don't mean that. This concern. I'm not speaking just to you, but looks like I am. But the concern I understand.
So there's no allowing it, period?
The information, we'll gladly take the letter.
I have one copy. I don't have enough for everybody.
We'll gladly make copies.
Can we wait till the end and close the meeting and discuss it then? Read it then?
No?
I mean, I am going to be a smart aleck really quick.
Okay,
Imagine
it's
that,
okay.
but I could have already had it read.
I understand that. I know you could.
I honestly can tell you that everybody here has read it.
We've seen the letter.
We've seen the letter. We've all read it.
I don't
I haven't.
disagree with that, but I also know that there's people that aren't here that haven't seen it that would like to know what it says.
Well, that's where we would rather make copies. We were advised by our lawyer.
Follow
We
policy.
can, it's to follow
Oh, we're
policy.
trying to follow policy and procedure as best we can.
The thing that you need to understand is whatever this situation is, it could be a delicate situation. We have to make sure that we do what we're supposed to do the way we're supposed to do it. All right. So we need patience and understanding for that also.
I 100% understand that, and I respect that. I was just also hoping that given the situation and the fact that it does have an effect on our entire school district, that we would at least get the opportunity.
But if you want, I can make copies right now for you.
Yeah, and not just me. What you guys?
No one's.
I mean, I will gladly let you make copies, but I want my original back because I'm going to send it off to the state.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we would do it. I appreciate you guys coming. They still need to see the support that's there.
Absolutely.
No,
Means a lot.
no,
I do.
sunshine law that pertains to public meetings.
It doesn't, we have a policy on public when they talk, Mr. Lee, you know that. You know,
About our children.
sure.
We have,
I know.
I have 4 children in the school district now. That's my concern.
Many,
My children.
of course, it's always
That's
about the
all
children.
ours.
It's only about the children. So, here we are. Okay, we're gonna have to go on because
Yeah.
we can't
We can't
have a
we
public
cannot
debate.
answer anything. We have no answers to give you
We
with
can't have a
this.
public debate.
There's nothing that we can share with you all. And if we had information, we couldn't share it anyway.
Can you share if he's still on the board?
He is. There,
That's all we can share.
yeah,
That I can explain because I do know that answer.
we,
It is not up
Okay.
to them.
Sorry. Right.
I will let you know that. That is not up to them.
As an elected official, we do not have the authority to do it.
Who does?
That's law.
Who does?
Prosecuting attorney and attorney general, but that would take 8 to 14 months.
Even if parents show up at the prosecutor's office?
It's gonna
It's not gonna make a difference.
Process. We're gonna go through all the due process and everything. I understand your frustration, but there's nothing we can do because it's an elected official. I mean, it's frustrating, I understand your frustration, but we also gotta remember, you can't do anything until the person is actually convicted.
That's what we're gonna ask.
Charges can be brought against you.
Oh.
And no charges have been, it's just an investigation, but unfortunately, until there's, it comes back substantiated from the Department of Social Services or there's charges, we can't. And that's kind of where we're at, so.
at the same time, we want you all to understand, we're not trying to shuffle anything under the rug. We're not trying to support this or support that, whichever side that might be.
But we all know that.
But we have actions that we can do and actions that we cannot do. And right now, we can conduct our business, and that's the action that we can do. So we appreciate the support from our community. We appreciate the concern from our community and the care from our community. The same as we have that same stuff too, but there's things that guide us that we have to follow, and that's how we have to walk ourselves. So we again ask for patience and understanding, and believe that we will listen to what's going on.
How are you gonna listen? You can't talk.
I mean from our attorney.
Yeah.
He means from our attorney. We'll do what our attorney advises us to do.
So if charges are filed, that does not make a difference.
It does not, according to the law, right here,
Okay.
which I will
You can-
share with you.
And you can give it to him.
Yep.
I'd be glad for you to do
You
so.
want me to make a
Just
copy of
learned
it?
that information.
Yes.
Okay, so,
For the state of Missouri.
Here.
all right, we're gonna need to move on to our regular meeting. You're welcome to stay, please, if you want to. Okay.
That's what the.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys for all that you're doing. I
But
get
do you have a,
very delicate situation.
yeah, so, thank you. Okay, we're ready to move on. We're up for a consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. Okay, sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second, Matt.
Which one? That's your.
Matt.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. Aye, abstain, Mr. Duffy, okay?
He does have one.
Ready for the approval of the bills?
I didn't have any questions myself.
Easy, no, easy.
Any questions on approval of the bill? The only question I had is, on pose, we had a finance charge.
Yes, and that bill, what ended up being late, what happened is they ended up delivering it earlier, and the way it was set, I did not get it in time for board, and so it went over. I actually.
Could we have called them and said they would have probably taken it off there?
Well, and that's this month, if we have the same issue, because it was delivered early, I was going to do the same, and I can do that, but I knew it was, at the time, I didn't realize it was gonna be that late, I guess I should say, because in normal schedule, it is on time. But this time, we had ran low on propane, so Carl had called them and asked them to come and deliver early, and it kind of got us off of our schedule of where we should be, so yes, that's correct.
Any other questions on the bills? A motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Adam to approve the bills. Second,
Get on.
I'm gonna give Dusty. Second by Dusty. All those in favor, say aye. Steve, are you okay with the bills?
He said yes.
5-0.
Raise your hand, Steve.
No.
We're ready for administrative reports, principal. Mr. Shaw, Mr. Clark.
Had a great junior high field trip to the MS&T with the STEM Center organizing, like part of this new program with S&T. I think it was a really incredible trip for the kids. They got to do and see some labs and some things and really what they do. In the report, you'll see where we recognize some students for a variety of different things. Our professional development has continued. The snow days obviously were a disruption, but we're hoping that's behind us and we're settled in for the rest of it.
I'd add to that, we had some couple of FFA teams or competitors that we had. I'm trying to remember what category they were in, but we had one team that qualified to go on to districts.
That was general knowledge, I think.
FFA knowledge. Yeah.
And then Eli read what was it? Something with, he did it for interviews, but it was
Job interview. And
Well, there's personnel right there. Yeah.
there's ladies,
competition.
So we had some FFA kids that are stepping up and going to the next level there too.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be busy.
Oh, and then you had your first,
How it gets busy. Yeah.
I bet they had their first area officer.
Who's your boy? What? That's tough to get into. That's
Yeah, we were very proud.
those are stressful interviews.
He kind of likes it.
Good for him. Good for him. Anything further?
No, not anything that's not in the report.
Okay.
For
Mr.
my,
Clark, I'm sorry. Mr. Clark, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay.
sorry, I thought,
No, sorry.
all I had was it is Board Appreciation Month, and I have your certificates there from MSBA. It's a thankless job, and we certainly here at school appreciate you as board members and everything that you do. So we don't tell you that enough sometimes.
Why, thank you, Dr. Kathy.
That's all.
Steve really needs to.
Any questions on this?
You're looking nice.
Dr. Caffey?
Said you're looking nice today.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're ready for our updates on facility projects. We have no bids, right? Okay, so any updates where we are?
Building, we got spray foam coming this weekend.
Okay.
We can start wall liners, and then Lord's ready. He's going to start searching for electrical conduit on the shop portion. So next week, we'll be on the way.
How are we on the old buildings? Where are we at in that?
Design.
Design?
Yeah, we need some design. It's coming up portion. It's all gutted. Electrical's all gutted. It's already basically ready to start going back to what we're doing.
Any questions on any of that? Then we'll move on to our first action item, which is certified salary and the considerations for the 22-23 school year. In your packet, saw some comparisons to other fiscal leagues, which we rank down toward the bottom of those comparisons for what teachers' pay is. Our base pay is $31,100, and every year we try to figure out how to raise it a little bit without stressing the bank too much. But that's what we're in debate to do. As you are aware, the governor has put it out there that going to support a bill that would raise that 31,100 to 35,000 in 3 years. So that'd be quite a climb for us to get to 35,000 in 3 years. Now, all depends on how that's all written. All depends on how all that is passed, because they chop and piece it all the time. The legislature does. Of what will finally come of all that, but at some point,
Well, what's going to have to come with money?
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Right now, the only thing he is guaranteeing is a first year allotment for any of your new teachers coming in that would have been at step whatever that wouldn't be at 35 yet. It's not giving you anything for anybody past that.
If they don't guarantee money throughout, it won't work in this district.
Right.
Or a lot of
I
this.
don't know that it'll work many districts if they don't put some money with it. Lasting.
Yeah.
Not just a 1 year, not just a 1 year money. So I think there's a lot of discussion going to happen with that, but it's there, and some of your bigger organizations have chimed in to help support that. So there's where we are. Okay, Mr. Cappy, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, we had talked just a little bit last month about how we could utilize the savings from health insurance to cover some of the costs of increasing a base. I just used $1,300 because if you took the 35,000, and it possibly could be more than that, it could be 38. But if we use 35, because that's kind of some of the talk around, $1,300 a year over the next 3 years would get us to the 35,000. So we're just talking really small steps each time to try to make progress towards that. And if there is some money, then by all means, that will help us out too. But again, I think it's just probably going to be a 1 year fix or very, very low on the base. It's not going to help any of your teachers who are above that amount. Right now, our base is 31,100. I set up a consideration for a base of 32,400. That's $1,300. If you took that times 39 certified staff, that's $50,700. $1,300 for each step increased or decreased. If you went to $1,400, it'd be $3,900 per step up or per step down. Plus, we also have 14.5% retirement. That totals $73.51, and Medicare at 1.45% at $735 for a total of $58,786 to do a $1,300 salary increase to the base. Other considerations is that you do have experience steps, so your staff that are still employed, they're going to go up to $602. Take that times 39. Just your steps is $23,478. That's you're going to see that whatever you do, even if you don't do anything on the base, you're going to see that increase. The budget and incentives, Mr. Clark did some research on that for us. We had budgeted $100,000. His projections from the responses that he received was that about $85,000 is what's going to be requested from that incentives. There is still time left for people to do incentives, so that's an estimate, but but I would say that's pretty spot on because not everyone does the incentives. Savings from the insurance was $48,204. If you estimate the savings from the incentives not taken, that's $15,000. If you took the $58,786 in salary increase, $23,478 step increase, you're looking at $82,264 in additional monies, expenditures in those areas. Your savings though, with the $48,204 plus the $15,000 of non-used incentives, your total cost above the savings is $19,060, which is still less than what your steps would even cost you next year. So that savings on insurance was very helpful towards
Yes.
towards.
I'm glad to
towards
finally
getting
see that.
those salaries up. a
Your
little bit.
insurance and savings.
Now, project with me how much savings we will have next year with the insurance. It
On
won't
health
be much,
insurance?
will it?
We are at a 22% assessment. So when we joined the insurance consortium last year, you can't just go in and at the same price that everyone else is paying. There's risk factors. And so we had a 33% assessment last year. Our insurance was $668. This year we had a 22% assessment. With the increase in the insurance that the group's seen, we were still saving about $64. I believe it's $604.09 for the base plan. So you save about $64 per employee. Next year, not next year, but the following year, that assessment drops to 11%. So you're looking at saving another 11%. Assuming the same increase in insurance, you should see close to that same amount of savings again next year, unless insurance fluctuates at a higher increase than what it did this year. But you should still see savings next year off that insurance.
That probably will be the last.
Yeah, you'll have a year of 11%, and then you're back to the same rate that everyone else pays. But you should see another savings from 11% to 0.
Well, true.
Because most of the time insurance doesn't go up 11%.
Half of the rate.
Yeah.
But it can go up 6 or 8.
Oh, yeah. Any of the funding that comes on top of it. But our insurance was just.
I think I'd be all right doing the 1,300 this year for several reasons. One, it would make us more competitive within the league. And then the other would be, since we don't know what's going to happen, we've already got a step taken to get us that much closer. But even if it doesn't take hold and pass like they're saying it might, we still are more competitive within our area, and then we can reevaluate next year and see where we need to go from there. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's doable, easy enough. It's going to cost us $20,000. Basically.
Yeah. We're fortunate enough. We're setting all right I know we can't just give money away every day, but we're setting all right to help our employees out. So
You are, and we're not using ESSER to raise salaries or anything like that. We are using ESSER, and we're running some salary through it, but that's to build back up the general revenue.
mm-hmm.
We're not using ESSER for repeated expense. Okay, we're using it for one-time expenses. Yes, we may run all the maintenance salary through ESSER, but that doesn't mean that we're already planning to pay that salary. It just banks that money into our general revenue. We still have about $230,000 in ESSER2 to withdraw, and then we've not touched ESSER3, and that's $781,000. So, you're going to have some good revenue. Plus, you have good revenue now. Good revenue, good reserve now.
Yes.
Yeah.
High 30%, close to 40%.
We're extremely fortunate to be like we are right now.
Yeah, we're in
good shape.
You're in good shape.
I'll make a motion that we do the $1,300 step and for this year, and then
$1,300 on the base plus the step.
yes. And
You're voting? You're second? Motion made by Mr. Birdsong to raise the base $1,300 and also do the step as we normally do for years. Second, Mr. Brookshire. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Your teaching staff will appreciate that.
They'll be happier.
you can't invest with your kids, you might as well invest in your teachers, I guess.
I'm not sure I understand this.
They're the second best thing.
It did.
Sounded positive.
I got a chuckle out of Miss Perry, so I'm doing well.
Our second action item, approval to add bookkeeper column to the non-certified salary schedule. We've been searching for ways to make it, fair where our bookkeeper fits into our salary schedules. Didn't. So we had to just pick a spot. And that spot really wasn't exactly right for the bookkeeper for what that position does and what that position is control of and what their responsibilities are and the job description of that position. So we made their own column for the bookkeeping. Or we asked Mr. Caffrey to bring us a column. We haven't done it yet. We're about to maybe, to where we can make it more fair for bookkeepers as they come in and their responsibilities and job expectations and descriptions to fit for their pay. Okay? So, it's about money. But not just that. It's also what's right, what for the compensation for that. So, you saw the salary proposed column, which started out at $20.50, right? And then went from there as years at about 50 cents a year raise. I think that's right. So, any discussion on adding that column to our pay scale?
Let's vote.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept as presented by Dr. Cap.
Motion by Mr. Birdsong, second by Mr. Guffey to add that bookkeeper column to our non-certified staff schedule. Any further discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Next item is to set the date for the time for the reorganization meeting, which will be after the elections. So we'll have to reorganize. So could possibly have all new officers. Okay. So is the time 6:30 good? Do you want to go 6:15?
Is that date soon enough?
It's right on the money.
Okay, so that's the last day we could go.
Well, it's not clear whether it's 14 calendar days or 14 business days after the election. And so we are very close to that time frame. But it's not clear.
Calendar days because we always had to bump it up.
Yeah. That's what, because I always thought we were early on this one. But I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Amy, is bumping it back a week to the 14th. Is that doable?
Because I know that, because it's always hard on
As
you.
long as you guys are okay with me adding additional payables into up to the 13th into your packets.
You mean you want to have a full board meeting the week before?
We can either have full board meeting or we just have the reorganization meeting.
Just
The
do
week
the reorganization.
Let's just
Do the reorganization the week
one night
before.
and then have a regular meeting because that way she can get her bills in.
Okay, the 14th.
If not, you're really pushing to get.
Real, yeah.
You can't do it. Well, you can't do it.
You want to leave it at 6:30? You can move it to 6.
I can make that.
6:30 is fine. Okay.
Is that a Thursday?
Yeah, it'd be the week before, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
That
Can
would
we
be
do it,
good.
can we do it a different day than the 14th?
Yeah, well,
I won't be here.
Yeah, we need everybody to be here.
I won't be here on the 15th either.
Okay.
That's Good Friday anyway.
I can do the 13th, which is a Wednesday.
13th.
That's fine with me.
Is that good with you?
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday the 13th?
Is that okay with everybody else? I appreciate that consideration, so.
13th's fine. Dusty? And we're just gonna reorganize that night.
Correct.
Okay. And we'll post that.
That should
Like
be
we do,
sweet.
it's an open session meeting.
Okay, April 13th, 2022 at 6:30 PM reorganization meeting.
Thank you.
6:30 work for everybody? Okay. We'll do. And we
That today.
regular board meeting would be April 21st. Everybody still good with that? You good with that? And what for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think that you have state competitions that day, don't you? But hopefully I can be back. But do parents go to that stuff too? Or do they have an award ceremony?
If he goes on stage, he'll go on Friday night. on the
Okay, cool.
26th.
Yeah, I'm good.
On the 22nd.
Okay.
what time is that? 5:30?
What we do, go back to our original time of closed at 6 o'clock, open at 6:30.
For the next meeting?
Yeah. Does that sound
Oh, so I don't know.
Sound right? Okay. Anything else? The agenda is not, so let's, where we stop. Okay. I'll need a motion to go into executive session. Motion by Mr. Brookshire, second by Mr. Shushank. We'll do roll call. Mr. Birdsong?
Yes.
Shushank? Yes. Mr. Brookshire, Mr. Guffey, sorry.
Yes.
And I'll be, yes.
You know, that's like.
So now we get to go without you. Sorry.
Thank you all for coming down.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And then I